out for. Awesome. Well, I want to ask you about your sled as well, because you built your own sled. Tell us a little bit about how you designed it.
Well, I really just copied the sled I originally had was from a musher I'd worked for in Two Rivers long ago, and so I made basically a one-to-one copy. This is the first time I've ever built a sled, but I really needed a new sled because my old one, I mean, I think it was built in the early 2000s maybe, and it was like literally on its last legs. So I built it 12 days before the race. Yeah, not advisable, but I couldn't get the materials up here because of mailing stuff and COVID. So finally got the materials up here, and I had a test run with the sled by accident a couple days before the race when my spouse's Mastiff ran off, and I had to go get him down the trail. And so I loaded a 190-pound Mastiff into the sled, and I was like, my sled's going to break. I'm going to have to rebuild it again. And nope. Handled it without a bend or a worry. So it's actually, and it's still holding up. It's doing good. I mean, fingers crossed, you know. We haven't had any big crashes. One thing that I kind of designed into it that I'm really excited about is that I made it so that I could put my snowshoes on the outside, because snowshoes are really clunky and take up a lot of room. So I put them on the outside, and snowshoes have those like spikes on the bottom. Well, the spikes are facing out, and I was like, you know, this could actually be really handy. So if the sled tips over, the sled stops, and so we don't get dragged down the trail, which is huge, because that's a good way to get beat up. And yeah, no, it's actually worked awesome. So there's been a couple times we've fallen on the ice, and it's just immediately we stop. So instead of Supermaning or whatever, yeah, that's a huge thing. So my sled, I think, is maybe one of the only sleds on the trail that doesn't have what's called a tail dragger, which is like a seat on the back. And I think I may have to eventually cave and have that. I really don't like those very much, but it's really tough on the storage thing. So that's been my biggest problem. I also designed my sled bag so that I can, it has basically like a secret extra compartment where I can throw one of the compartments completely out and then store a dog. It's like a kennel, but also it could hold straw or whatever. But even with that, I don't have enough storage to camp as much as I want, because carrying straw is just tricky. So if I carry straw, I can't carry a dog. So my poor folks back home are probably like, this schedule that I'm doing right now is totally different than anything I've been doing. It's mainly because of the storage issue of being able to haul everything I need. I did build something on the back that was supposed to be to carry hay, and it was like this very fancy contraption that like folded up, and I could totally put it away so it would just look like a sled, or I could like super quick unfold it and put hay on it, and it worked great for about 1 mile, and it totally fell apart. Luckily I tested it before I went on the race, but I was like, darn it, okay, I'll be something for next year, you know. So I really like you know, inventing stuff, and I'm really pleased that a lot of the weird things I've been like playing with have been working really well on the trail. So
yeah, kind of exciting to test all this out on the trail.
I know, and I definitely keep thinking about, okay, this is another opportunity to like test this out, and on this run I'm going to test this thing out. And yeah, that's one of my very favorite things about mushing. And another thing definitely learned from Martin Boozer is that it's such a cool opportunity to like make stuff and play with stuff and build things. It's such like an inventor's studio, you know, and I definitely have lots of ideas for next year that I'm already like, okay, I want to, all right, I got to get this race done so I can start building this next part that I want to work on. So
very cool. And that might be something that's interesting to note for our insiders, you know, that mushing, there's so much more that goes into just the dog care and actually mushing the dogs, right? Do you feel like you wear lots of hats, everything from, you know, sled builder to, you know, psychologist with the dogs, or, you know, doctor doing some minor vet work?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and then there's the other aspects to keep a kennel going. You're doing social media, really intensive social media work. Now, I have to give a huge shout out because about a year and a half ago, I realized like I cannot do all the online work myself. And I actually hired people who are awesome, and I'm not paying them nearly enough. But they are actually doing stuff like right now, sending out emails, probably again being confused and like, okay, Will's race plan said he was going to do this, but nope, it seems like he's staying again. We have no idea what's going on. Anyway, they are awesome. Huge shout out to the away team. That's what we call them. But I still am wearing the hat of like doing that. I actually built my own website, and so I'm maintaining that. And then I have a day job. So even, you know, like you said, nested in mushing, there's a million different hats, but then you gotta pay the bills. So there's all those other hats that you're wearing too. So it's not a sport, it's a lifestyle. I mean, the sport is like this tiny little feature inside of the bigger thing. But I love it, and these guys are my life, you know. They're like they're my best buds, and I'm not just thinking about innovative things for the next race or whatever. I'm thinking about the playground I'm going to build them this summer, and like I'm totally going to do a swimming pool. It's going to happen, and you know, like there's just all this fun stuff we've got to do. And then I learned from a vet. I was so excited. There's core work we can do, because one of the sorenesses I've been having has been like on their back a little bit, and I've had this all year. And I ran into a vet who has done agility stuff, and she taught me some things about core work, and I've got more to look up, but I'm really excited about that. So yeah, it's just like never ending, but it's really cool, you know.
Yeah, we've seen, you know, especially on the 24, a lot of mushers doing it, you know, almost looks like physical therapy with the dogs, doing lots of stretching. They're getting lots of massages. So very cool that mushers can implement some of those techniques almost like a physical therapist.
100%. I've been thinking about, one of our followers is a athletic trainer, so like a physical therapist for who worked with Olympians, and she gave me a lot of great insight on different things. So I've been thinking about her along the trail, and about how that's very much what I am. But man, I would love if I could like audit some sports medicine things, because there's always more to learn. And yeah, I'm definitely like upping my game with that. That is one thing that I've been learning more on the trail, and it's been not necessarily because it's like harder or anything like that, but because I'm running into this wide breadth of other experience. So like that that vet who talked to me was from Florida, but works with agility dogs, you know, but then you're talking to other mushers, and all of this is really, I mean, that's such a cool experience. Normally with mushing, we're really alone. We're like the first social distancers, you know, so it's really nice in some ways when we get to race and get to exchange some of those ideas, because that's a really important aspect of it. So
absolutely. And you know, another aspect of the race too that I know you're probably missing out on is the community aspect of, you know, really a lot of school children you know, are involved in all of the different checkpoints and everything. So how's that been for you? You know, it's a little bit different this year than probably what you were originally expecting it would be like.
Yeah, you definitely hear about all of the kids coming out and like all of that excitement. We did see there was looked like a dad and two kids standing out on the berm just to wave people in, but they're, you know, doing a really good job here of trying to maintain that community distance and making sure that we don't have you know, the ability to spread disease. That is a weird thing. On the other hand, it is like, I mean, we also kind of obviously missed out on like the ceremonial start and all of that. I've been to a lot of ceremonial starts, so I do know what that looks like. And this was obviously didn't happen this year, but it is in a weird way been kind of good for me as a rookie to not have so many distractions. So I've been able to try to focus more. My Achilles heel is definitely like distraction level. So I was supposed to leave Nikolai checkpoint, and I got talking to the vet. That was where that sports vet was, and then one of the judges is an old friend, and all of a sudden I realized I was like leaving 3 hours after my checkpoint thing. So I'm really definitely being pokey, but everything's fine. People who are following me, I'm just very distracted, but I'm trying to get back onto it, and also try not to like beat myself up too much about it, because you know what? Again, the dogs are looking fantastic. We're having a blast. Like, what else is the point? So my goal for next year, though, I've told my poor handler, who is a very organized person, and I'm a very disorganized person, you know, we're going to focus on that organization going in, and be able to hopefully tackle, I'm going to be running next year, and hopefully my big thing is just getting my checkpoint stuff done, or like down, so that I can let the dogs do what they do best. I mean, everything else I think is really there. I think our vet work is really good. I think our feeding program's going really well right now. But it's just me being like, la la la, like very distracted. So, you know, c'est la vie, that's okay.
Well, we appreciate you allowing this distraction and taking some time out to talk with us before we let you go, because I know you got a lot to get to. Is there anybody at home that you'd like to send a message to who may be watching?
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I didn't bring any two-way communication devices, which may not even work. I have no idea. But yeah, I do know people are worrying. So to Sean, I love you. Everything's going good. I'm having a blast. So, and to all the other folks who I know are, you know, watching back at home, mom and dad, and yeah, the whole crew. Again, Sam, the handler, sorry about not having any drop dogs to send you. Not sorry. And to all the other folks. And yeah, special shout out to my friend Patty, who I know is probably glued to the live videos. So yeah, it's going well out here. So anyway, yeah. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to say hi.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for the time, and thank you to all of our insiders for following along. We're going to let Will get back to it, but we'll try to catch him again on down the trail. Good luck to you, Will.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, keep it tuned. I'm Liz Raines, live in McGrath, and we'll be back with more interviews.